A voyage into the world of Rolex. Do you know what time it is? Your eyes immediately move to your wrist when you hear this question. Nearly all of us wear wristwatches. Furthermore, some of you may be dreaming of wearing a luxury Rolex watch, which is something I also hope for. It's time for another inspirational video. This video makes you wonder, if a 12-year-old orphan boy can do this, why can't I? Hans Wilsdorf was born on March 22, 1881 in Kumbach, Germany, to Anna and Johann Daniel Wilsdorf. When Wilsdorf was 12 years old, his parents passed away just a few months apart. Hans Wilsdorf's uncle quickly decided to sell the family business and put some of the funds raised towards the children's education. They were all assigned to a nice prestigious boarding school called Ernestine Coburg in Bavaria, Germany. While he was a student there, he made friends with a Swiss boy who told him of tales of his birthplace in the Swiss city, which was known for its long history in the watchmaking industry. This made Hans very curious about the location. At the age of 19, he moved from the German boarding school to Geneva, Switzerland. He secured a position as an apprentice with a major international pearl exporter. Hans received a letter from a friend one day offering him a position with a company. At the time, it was one of the largest high-quality watch manufacturing companies. His dream destination was where this well-known company that manufactures watches was headquartered. Despite the fact that the company he was previously employed with was better for him, his interest in the area and the watch industry grew. So he moved to work for the company in 1900. Hans, a 22-year-old employee, relocated to London, England to work for a different high-end watch brand after serving for 2 years. There he had a wider role to play and was in charge of boosting sales. A visionary entrepreneur. At the beginning of the 20th century, a brilliant businessman from London was on the verge of success. His goal was to reveal a dial signature to the watchmaking industry at the time. Although the entrepreneur had very little at the beginning, he did have several priceless traits, including vision, hope for the future, perseverance, and an exceptional capacity for work. The beginning of a dynasty in 1905. Technically, the history of Rolex starts in 1905, when founder Hans Wilsdorf founded a business in London that was focused on the distribution of watches. To understand a complete narrative though, you must go back to 1903. Wilsdorf moved to London when he was 22 years old. Unfortunately, during his travels, robbers had stolen 33,000 German gold marks worth of Wilsdorf's inheritance. He still kept working in the English watch business while preparing to launch his own watch business. He obtained British citizenship during this time. At the age of 24, Wilsdorf finally ran into Alfred James Davis and teamed up with him to launch their own watch manufacturing business. Wilsdorf had experience and understanding in watchmaking, and Davis had the capital to invest. In fact, Davis, who married Wilsdorf's younger sister, reinforced the partnership even further. Wilsdorf experienced inspiration in 1908 while seated on the upper deck of one of London's well-known double-decker buses. He had been attempting to come up with a brand name for years. According to a quote from him, "A genie whispered Rolex in my ear." Wilsdorf would later observe that the word also has a watch-winding-like sound to it. Rolex created history in 1926 when it unveiled the first waterproof timepiece. Mercedes Gleitz, a long-distance swimmer, crossed the English Channel wearing an oyster to celebrate its introduction. The hermetically sealed box was still displaying the correct time at the conclusion of her 10-hour journey. In order to celebrate the Channel crossing, Rolex placed a full-page advertisement announcing the success of the waterproof watch on the top page of the Daily Mail. The testimony idea was created as a result of the incident. Rolex debuted the Oyster Perpetual Datejust in 1945 to commemorate its 40th anniversary. The first self-winding chronometer with date display. This watch is fully waterproof and luminous. It is also available in 18-karat yellow gold. Dwight Eisenhower, Martin Luther King Jr., and the Dalai Lama were notable Datejust wearers. Jennifer Lopez wears Lady Datejust a lot. It only makes sense that this Hollywood actress wears the best of the best. Let's be honest, virtually every celebrity has a Rolex neatly put away in their jewelry box. It's just a rite of passage to wealth and fame, isn't it? However, only a few famous people are devoted to the company and are frequently seen sporting one. Tragic events befell the Wilsdorf family just 1 year before Rolex celebrated its 40th anniversary. Florence, Hans' beloved wife, went away unexpectedly. Wilsdorf never had children with Florence and was orphaned when he was just 12 years old. Hans remained one of the wealthiest and most successful men in the world, but now he had a need that needed to be fulfilled. In 1944, Wilsdorf created the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation at the time. Wilsdorf promised to donate all of his company's profits to charity. In 1953, the Rolex debuted two new watches, the Explorer and the Submariner. From the tallest mountain to the lowest valley, the Explorer was designed to conquer the world. The Submariner, on the other hand, was patent protected to withstand all of the sea's powerful forces. When they made history, people like Sir Edmund Hillary and Auguste Piccard wore those timepieces. You can take part in that history by using the Submariner and Explorer, which are still widely accessible today. Rolex sent the deepest watch ever sent into the ocean in 1960. The Trieste, a cutting-edge bathysphere, made history by being the first craft to enter the Mariana Trench. Lieutenant Don Walsh heroically entered the Mariana, the deepest trench on Earth, while wearing a Rolex. The Hans Wilsdorf Foundation acquired control of the business following Wilsdorf's death in 1960. Explorer watches by Rolex are water-resistant and made to conquer the world, and the Submariner was to defy the full might of water. By entering the world's deepest trench, the Trieste created history. I wonder if there is still room for experimentation with watches. They came up with a unique concept that was beyond my wildest dreams. The Oyster Perpetual Explorer 2, a now iconic watch from Rolex that invented the 24-hour hand, was first shown in 1971. The Explorer watch was made primarily for cave explorers, but it was worn anywhere from the ivory towers of Manhattan to the towering canopies of the Amazon jungle. They required a watch to inform them if it was AM or PM, because these explorers would travel in the dark for hours or days at a time. Rolex surprised its fans in 2005 when it unveiled a new face for its professional models. The faces of the new timepieces included Cerachrom bezels in deep black, brilliant blue, and blush green. With the exception of the occasional red accent, the company had only ever experimented with golds, silvers, and browns. I'll help you understand how popular Rolex is by suggesting a simple game. Are you prepared to play? Play this simple game of word association with anyone. Say watches, and you'll probably get the response, Rolex. How likely was the name Rolex? Comment below and let me know. Wilsdorf was subjected to ridicule and criticism just like any other inventor. Back then, wearing a wristwatch was a joke. The few people who wore them were made fun of. People claimed that a watch with such a tiny, fragile mechanism couldn't resist the forceful hand and arm motions, he continued. It was obviously too small to be precise. The rest is history, since Hans Wilsdorf disregarded the criticisms. Wilsdorf overcame obstacles in his early life and left a lasting legacy thanks to his determination and innovation. Rolex is not revolutionary, rather it is evolutionary. Currently, Rolex produces over 2,000 timepieces each day and is routinely included among the top 10 global corporations. Conclusion: Jean-Frédéric Dufour is Rolex's current CEO. Dufour has worked for Rolex since 1992 and has handled a variety of positions. In 2013, he was appointed CEO. Many of the significant technical and marketing breakthroughs that we now take for granted were first introduced by Rolex. Every person who bears a Rolex today bears the legacy of Wilsdorf. After 21 years of producing watches, they received a patent for the water and dust-proof watch case known as the Oyster in 1926. 5 years later, in 1931, the self-winding wristwatch was created as a second invention. In my opinion, these two game-changing inventions contributed to Rolex's success. What do you think? Please share your feedback in the comments below, and please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.